Chatterfang Squirrel General was printed a year ago in Modern Horizons 2 and quickly rose to prominence as one of the best tribal commanders of all time. Not only does Chatterfang make additional tokens, he's a sack outlet, pump, and spot removal, all on a single card. Let's take a closer look and you'll see what I mean. Chatterfang Squirrel General is a 3-mana 3/3 legendary squirrel warrior with Forest Walk. He also has an activated ability requiring you to sacrifice X squirrels and pay a single black mana. If you do so, target creature gets +X/-X until end of turn. So we could pump one of our own creatures, or even use this ability to kill an opponent's creature. And it gets around indestructible as well. But the scariest part about Chatterfang is that whenever we create a token, not only do we create those tokens, we create just as many 1/1 green squirrel tokens as well. You'll note it doesn't say creature tokens, it just says tokens. So if we cast a Dockside Extortionist with a Chatterfang on board and create 10 treasure tokens, we also create 10 squirrel tokens. Good thing Dockside and Smothering Tithe aren't in the same color identity. If only there were some good treasure generators in green. Chatterfang is an army in a can, but our army is just 1/1s. I don't want to build yet another Aristocrats deck, so I went down a different path this time. We do still have some Aristocrat payoffs, but we won't be sacrificing all of our creatures. Instead, we'll be attacking every turn and smashing our opponents in the face with our army of tokens. But as an added bonus, if any of our creatures die, they'll trigger our Aristocrats to drain our opponents. But before we get into deck building, let's keep in mind our checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp. 10 pieces of card advantage. 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal. 2 to 3 board wipes. 2 pieces of graveyard hate. And 1 sudden I win card. Before we get started, this is not a budget list. However, I managed to keep each card under $50, so all told, the list comes in at about $400. You can build it cheaper if you want to, but this is the one I went with. As I stated, we've got a light Aristocrat package. For sack outlets, in addition to Chatterfang, we've got Viscera Seer and Woe Strider. For payoffs that drain our opponents, we have Blood Artist, Zulaport Cutthroat, Poison Tip Archer, Nadir's Nightblade, and Bastion of Remembrance. Like I said, it's a small package designed to help deal extra damage if our tokens are killed in combat or via board wipe. Speaking of board wipes, we have a copy of Fresh Meat to rebuild quickly after any board wipe. For token generators, we've got Squirrel Nest, Mycloth, Arasta of the Endless Web, Beladros Witherbloom, Chitter Spitter, Squirrel Wrangler, Verdant Command, Scute Swarm, Avenger of Zendikar, Second Harvest, Tendershoot Dryad, Deep Forest Hermit, and Emrakul's Evangel. Oh, and a Primal Vigor to double all our token generation. And to ensure we deal as much damage as possible with our army, we've got Squirrel Sovereign as a Squirrel Lord, Mazarek Kral Death Priest to continuously grow our dorks, Oran Frostfang to force our opponents to make some uncomfortable choices, Overrun as our sudden I win card, and Sylvan Anthem as possibly the best 2-mana anthem in the game, allowing us to dig for answers very quickly. Speaking of answers, we have Tragic Slip to deal with just about any creature, Zat's Will as our first piece of graveyard hate, Putrefy for flexible spot removal, Return to Nature, and Pest Infestation to deal with artifacts and enchantments, and Abrupt Decay, Assassin's Trophy, and Beast Within to handle pretty much anything else. To help protect our board, we're running Veil of Summer, Heroic Intervention, and Malakir Rebirth. Our sole board wipe is Toxic Deluge. White has some excellent board wipes that would blow up any large creatures, keeping our token army alive, but that's not an option with Chatterfang. To keep our hands full, we've got Toski Bearer of Secrets, Skull Clamp, Village Rites, Plumb the Forbidden, Shamanic Revelation, Harmonize, Sign in Blood, Moldervine Reclamation, and Phyrexian Arena. For a bit of graveyard recursion, we've got Eternal Witness and Timeless Witness. Our mana ramp consists of Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Cultivate, Rampant Growth, Circle of Dreams Druid, Sakura Tribe Elder, 3 Visits, Kodama's Reach, Farseek, and Harvest Season. I also included Old Gnawbone and the new Bootlegger's Stash as treasure generators. What, did you think I forgot about them? Finally, we come to our lands. To start, I wanted to include Field of the Dead. But in order to trigger Field, we need as many lands with different names as possible. So I added Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Overgrown Tomb, Woodland Chasm, Dryad Arbor, Undergrowth Stadium, Woodland Cemetery, Deathcap Glade, Temple of Malady, Dark Moss Bridge, Golgari Guildgate, Golgari Rot Farm, Witherbloom Campus, Jungle Hollow, Bajuka Bog, Yavimaya Cradle of Growth, Llanowar Wastes, Necroblossom Snarl, Dark Boar Pathway, Tainted Wood, Twilight Mire, Nurturing Peatland, Blooming Marsh, Foul Orchard, 3 Forests, 3 Swamps, 3 Snow-Covered Forests, and 3 Snow-Covered Swamps. So let's see how our deck compares to our checklist. 50 mana sources, split between 38 lands and 12 pieces of ramp, 11 pieces of card advantage, 9 pieces of spot removal counting our commander, plus 3 pieces of protection. Only 1 board wipe, but that's okay, we don't want to be wiping the board that often. 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. So our deck checks all the boxes and is a blast to play. I built something similar to this for my son as a Christmas present, but he hasn't been enjoying it. I'll probably have to go in and rebuild it so he can have more fun with it. As far as upgrades, assuming budget isn't an issue, you'll want to try and slot in a Parallel Lives and Meathook Massacre. Both of them are above my $50 cutoff though, so I didn't include them. I thought about including Academy Manufacturer, but with only having a couple of treasure generators, I couldn't justify a spot in the 99. Maybe if I were making more treasure, food, or clue tokens, it would be a fine inclusion. But for now, I think the deck works just fine. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cute Stuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, there's a link to her Fiverr page below. I'm doing a push and trying to post new videos every weekday for the next few months, so look forward to lots of new videos in the near future. Or you can click here for more Commander content. I've also started a Patreon. You can click the link below or go to patreon.com/Danon. Stay safe and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.